This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Helping you find emotional, spiritual, and physical balance. What does your future hold? It's time to find out with Psychic Suzanna.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB, and you are in the right place at the right time. Tonight, we have a show that's going to be packed with information. As a matter of fact, what we have scheduled for the next 2 months are people who are going to stop by and give us ideas of how to handle our family situations, how to handle our personal situations, how to handle situations that we want to go through easily with. It's how you handle the situation that counts in life, not what you do with it. So, we're going to start off tonight with a gentleman that is known in Omaha quite well, as a matter of fact. And his name is Ron Samuelson. You may know him from M's Pub in Vavachi's.
You got it.
Yes. Hello, Ron.
Hi, Suzanna.
Thank you for coming. Ron,
my pleasure.
The whole premise of the beginning of this show, you're kicking off 2 months of education and help for family members. Knowing you and knowing your energy and knowing your background, you want to tell us a little bit about your background and what you can offer us?
Well, yeah, my background, I was born and raised in Omaha and got into the restaurant business about a little over 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. I started off in Omaha and then went to Dallas and ended up in Denver for a good part of a decade.
Whoa. And
moved back here 25 years ago. And so I've been happily an Omaha resident for the last quarter of a century.
Wow. Now, and as I understand this, you're also a father of 2 young babies?
I am indeed, yes. We have, my wife Kathy and I had twins about 16 months ago, Logan and Avery. And
Ron, if I may be gentle about this, and I
Please.
Really want to be gentle.
Please
you're
be
not
gentle.
the youngest chicken in
no,
the
I'm
barnyard.
Not. Thank you
for a
for
16-month-year-old.
Thank you for being gentle with me. I appreciate that.
You know, I think age is like wine. The older we are, the better we are.
Well, I'm banking on that. So.
Yeah, it's true. As a matter of fact, there's nobody 6 feet under who wouldn't want to be where we are.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm a lucky man.
So if I could ask you your age, out of curiosity.
I'm 52.
52 with 16-month-old, 2 16-month-old twins. That means you've got courage.
That's right.
That means you've got courage. But you know what the reason I really am enticed with you?
Tell me.
Is because you were a man at 18 who made some stupid decisions.
I've made them before 18. Yes, I have. I've gone down some paths I wish I hadn't maybe, but...
Well, you know, everything's in divine order. Maybe by you going down the paths you did, you can help us not to go down those paths. Tell me what those paths were.
That's why I'm here. Well, I think what you're talking about is the fact that for 30 years of my life, I used alcohol and then later drugs to fill a void inside of me. I didn't really know what I was looking for, but I think you talk to most people who are either alcoholic or addicted to drugs, and they're trying anything to find something more special than what they are or where they are. And so I did that for a long time, floundered about quite a bit, and had some success almost in spite of myself. And then at age 44, I found another way to live, and I got sober. And I've been alcohol and drug free now for about 8.5 years.
Congratulations.
Thanks, yeah.
Congratulations. What do you think that started you on the path of to go use drugs and alcohol? What do you think? As a mother and a father and a brother and a sister, how do we tell if someone around us is drowning?
It's a really hard question to answer. I can tell you that in my experience, I believe that alcoholism and drug addiction are really a deterioration of the human spirit, and so the deterioration or erosion of the personality. And so you probably have a better contact with people that are in your family than anybody else, and so you know their ins and outs. I think you probably have a better chance of noticing some personality changes in somebody in your family than you would somebody that you work with, or the subtlety of the personality change. And so that's probably I'd say the biggest sign. There certainly are physical signs that you can look for, but a lot of times, our bodies are pretty resilient, and you can do a lot of damage to your body, as I did for a long time, and not really have it show outwardly. And that's the whole point. Is it really is it's an inner battle that's going on, and this is just the alcohol and the drugs are just a symptom, really.
And what is the inner battle? What would you say the inner battle? When the battle begin? What brought on the battle? Is there a bringing on the battle?
I didn't know it was a battle to begin with.
Okay.
It only turned into a battle after a period of time. And it wasn't until quite a bit after I stopped drinking and using that I realized that it was a battle. And I guess the idea here is that it's a separation from God, really, a separation from the person that you were divinely placed on the planet to be, and the divine purpose with which you were placed here is being misused. And so I think that somewhere deep down inside you feel a disconnect. I know that it's a disease of severe loneliness. No matter how many people you surround yourself with, it can be a very lonely disease. And I think that the separation from God manifests in separation from the feeling of being close to other people and having a hard time with intimate relationships.
So if we were to, do we need to take a break now? Is it about? No, my watch says it's breakdown. Oh, I've got a long time. So, but when we come back after the break, which is soon, we want to figure out what do we do if we see someone that we feel is pulling away from us? Is there an idea or a thought that a mother, a brother, a sister, a cousin, how do we help someone who is drowning in their loneliness? I was talking to someone today about Michael Jackson, how sad it was that the only way he could reach out is to drugs.
Right.
How do we teach people to reach out to people rather than drugs?
Well, there again, it's a hard question to answer. I think it's very difficult to help somebody who doesn't want help, first of all. And if you're dealing with somebody who's actively alcoholic, chances are they're in a pretty big state of denial. You're going to go through those 5 stages of grief that Elizabeth Kubler-Ross came to in the mid-'60s.
I don't know those.
Well, you start off with denial. See if I can remember them. Then you go through anger, and then you go through bartering, and then you go through depression, and you finally come to a place where you're in acceptance. And so it takes a while if you're dealing with somebody who is actively using or drinking themselves into an alcoholic state on a pretty regular basis. It's going to be very difficult to get them to listen to any reason. So a lot of times, what I do for people that are close to me is I just pray for safe pain for them. I think that sometimes pain and desperation are really the only things that can get to somebody in that state.
What did you say you prayed for?
For safe pain, yeah.
Safe pain?
Safe pain.
Well, that's an interesting thought. We'll have to figure out what safe pain is when we get back. We're going to take a break right now. You're listening to Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Safe pain
Psychic
next.
Suzanna.
Can't get through on the radio show? Call Psychic Suzanna anytime at 712-276-9349. That's 712-276-9349. Or visit her webpage, PsychicSusanna.com.
Welcome back to Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. This show will be going online at PsychicSusanna.com if you want to hear it again. And we will be taking your calls after the 8:30 hour. And the number, so get ready to call, is 558-1110 or 1-800-543-1110, and we'll look in your future. Right now, we have with us Ron Samuelson. Ron Samuelson of M's Pub and Vivace's, who, at the age of 18, decided to enjoy his life through a bottle, and now has told us, as after being sober 8.5 years,
That's correct, yeah.
Cool beans. After being sober 8.5 years, that the way you become sober or something that you have to do to help people to come sober is safe what?
Safe pain.
Safe pain.
Yeah,
What is so? Our family members, our friends, our things want to help alcoholics have safe pain. Tell me what that would mean.
Well, your whining and complaining and cajoling isn't going to help, I can tell you that. And so what we're hoping for is some sort of divine intervention, really. I know it sounds a little funny to some people, but that really is the way that most of us find our way through that. And that's what gives us our hope and
Divine intervention. I'm one with that one.
There you are.
Okay, but so we want them to have safe pain. What would that mean? What would that mean to someone watching someone who's an alcoholic?
I guess it would mean having people have consequences for their behaviors. I think a lot of times what ends up happening to people, especially in family situations, that families become enablers and mothers to sons or fathers to daughters or whatever. And, you like to think that, especially if the parent has never really dealt with this sort of thing before, it can be a very confounding disease. Most people think that it's really should be easy to stop drinking or stop using drugs. You just think about your job, or think about your family members, or think about your children, and it's not about thinking really. That it's a disease that really takes over the entire mind and the entire body and your soul, and so you have to fight the disease when you get to the point where you're in recovery. You're really working on three different parts. You're working on your mind, you're working on your body, and you're working on your spiritual side at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that's what people that are actively using really aren't thinking that way at that point in time. It's just a mental and physical thing at that point.
So they're not. So part of the way is to help them to find a spiritual core,
right?
To help them to reconnect to their spiritual
exactly.
core. Should a parent model the spiritual core, or should a parent say, if their son who has been drinking all night and coming in late and coming in all hours of the night, what should a mother do to that son?
Well, I think...
or that daughter?
Probably the first thing is to lock him out of the house. Maybe.
Really? You
sure.
think so?
Well,
you think tough love is the best?
Absolutely. I
really?
think, yeah, you've got to stop participating in the drama pretty quickly, or it's going to take the whole family down. And, the holidays are a really tough time because a lot of times kids are back in town and they're coming back from college situations or the like, and I can think to some times when I probably caused my parents quite a bit of anxiety over some of the hours I was keeping, and they didn't really know at the time what was going on. And alcoholism can really wreak havoc on the holidays. Mm-hmm. And
well, it's got to be hard, and I admire you, Ron, because you serve alcohol at M's and Vivace's. I mean, you're right there. I mean, in reality, you cannot take alcohol or drugs out of the picture. They're in the picture. And so how do you handle it being that you're in the middle of it, and how do you handle not becoming part of it?
Because I don't want to drink. I know what that'll lead to. My life is infinitely better now than it ever was when I was drinking and using. On every level, it's better. My physical health is better. My spiritual health is better. My mental health is better. I'm living a life right now that 10 years ago, if you'd told me I was going to be living, I would have probably sent you off to the loony bin because it would have seemed completely impossible to me. And really, that deterioration of the human spirit, that's what happens. We lose hope, and our lives get very, very small. And once you start living with the faith and hope that a spiritual higher power can empower you with, your life with, and instill your life with a different kind of energy, all of a sudden everything changes, and it's almost instantaneous. It's beautiful.
Okay, so what about the individual who says they're going to go sober,
Mm-hmm.
and they go to rehab,
Mm-hmm.
and the family supports them in rehab,
Right.
and then they come out and start drinking again? What does the family do?
Well, they once again they're going to have to just disengage from the drama as quickly as they can.
Disengage from the drama?
Right. There's nothing that anybody can do to make anybody else get sober. They really can't. No. I mean, you look at court. Courts are full of people who have had 5, 6, 7 DWIs. They're looking at 15-year prison terms, and they still can't stop drinking. And no judge and no mother, no wife or husband is going to have the kind of impact that's going to make somebody stop until they're ready to stop.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so what would you say to anyone out there who feels alone in the world, who has an alcohol problem, and who thinks that's the way life is? You go out every night and you have a couple drinks, or you go out and...
Well, I've got 2 things I would say to that person. One, you don't have to live like that anymore.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Why are you sure of that?
Because there's a different way. I'm living proof that you don't have to live like that anymore.
Okay.
The second thing is you don't have to do it alone. There's so many different ways that you can get help if you want the help, but you have to be ready to have a life that is completely unmanageable to you right now. I mean, your imagination is so limited compared to the infinite imagination of the Holy Spirit. You just have no idea what God has in store for you until you open yourself up to it. But you have to be the one to do the opening. Nobody else can pry you open to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you believe, and do you believe that everyone can be sober if they want to be sober?
Absolutely. Even
if they've been drinking for decades?
Oh goodness, yes. Oh, I really believe that there isn't anybody out there that couldn't have a beautiful, fully alive, sober life if they choose it.
And what is it like being an alcoholic? Are your senses just not real? Tell me what it is that you're drinking, so I can understand how you're feeling that you need this liquor.
Boy,
what do you feel when you're drinking? What do you feel when you're out of control?
Something different than what you feel. I'm sure of that.
Okay.
That's kind of the disease model that was has been pretty well written about over the years in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and other places. They talk about the basically the alcoholic drinker. Alcohol has a different effect on people who are mm-hmm. alcoholic, and supposedly the doctors will tell you that about 10% of the population is probably wired alcoholic, and it just affects people differently,
okay.
and it creates a situation in your body where you end up with a craving if you don't have it, and that's where the problem begins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How about if I said it isn't real when you're an alcoholic? Would that make sense to you? If what Spirit is telling me is how I'm understanding, if we want to live an authentic life.
Yeah, it'd probably be best if you were doing it sober, I would say, yeah.
Is there any part of alcohol and someone who's drinking that is authentic?
Well, I think... Yes, I think anyone who is looking for authenticity in their life can find it in a lot of different ways. But I think the alcoholic is usually living a double life, and in my own particular case, I really had there were a lot of parts of my life that were I was trying very hard to be very authentic in, but it's you're just working you're working with a debilitating set of circumstances.
So you're working at being authentic. You're not being
truly being authentic, right?
Authentic. So it's the difference of stepping into the light or just watching the light.
And and talking about the light and
imagining
what the light is.
Yeah, and imagining being happy and imagining being at peace. So what we need to tell everyone is that everyone has the power within them and the Holy Spirit to be at peace and to be safe and free from any addiction.
Absolutely.
Any addiction?
Any.
Okay.
Yeah, because the addictive nature of the mind can take a lot of different tacks, and a lot of people, when they quit drinking or using drugs, they find gambling, or they'll start spending money in inappropriate ways, or use food in a way that is unhealthy. And you just got to find the truth about your spiritual connection, and then whatever that need is gets taken away.
Okay. And it comes through a spiritual connection.
That's the only way I found it.
Amen. Thank you for being with us
tonight. You're very welcome.
Ron.
Thanks for having me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB.
Hello, you're back. You're right, with Life with Psychic Suzanna at 1110 KFAB. Again, I want to thank Ron Samuelson for coming in and sharing his story with me, and more or less sharing his victory with us. Sometimes it seems just overwhelming what we go through in life, and having addictions has got to be, we're all addicted to something in one way or another. And the reality is to be able to live with and to grow, survive, and thrive, as Ron was a perfect example of doing. And again, thank you to Ron Samuelson for being here. We're going to take your calls at 1110 KFAB. I do want to remind you that if you want to get a podcast of that, you can go to Psychic Suzanna at psychicsusanna.com, or you can also go to Life with Psychic Suzanna on Facebook. And I'd love your feedback on the show. And then we're going to go to the phones. We're going to look into your future, always remembering that anything a psychic sees can be changed. The power is always in the moment. This moment is the present. And I think, as we live in the present, let's go to our first caller. We're talking to Linda. Are you here, Linda?
Hello.
Hello, Linda.
Hello, Psychic Suzanna.
Well, Linda, thank you for calling. First of all, I'm going to tell you, does your back give you a little bit of problems?
Yes.
You know what? It's not going to be. Have you ever heard of this word? Now put your ear to the radio. I really want you to pick up this word. Are you ready?
Okay.
Stretching. Have you ever thought of doing it?
Stretching?
Yes!
All right, I'll do it.
All right. I want you to take natural vitamins and minerals, do a little bit of stretching. But, Linda, one of the other things is that you carry the weight of the world in your back. Ask me what I mean.
You are so right.
Okay. So when your back starts hurting, it tells us that you're carrying your thoughts and you're not communicating what you're thinking. Now, you may not have anybody to communicate it to, but as Ron Samuelson told us, Spirit's always listening. So you can communicate to Spirit or you can write it out, but you got to stop carrying other people's garbage or your back will never get better.
I see.
Okay, now, I am going to tell you weight loss ahead for you also. Also, do you have family in Florida? Anything in Florida?
No.
But guess what? You got communication coming from Florida.
Wonderful.
Oh, my God, that sounds exciting. I'm also going to tell you that there is going to be 2 family additions within the next 3 years. Do you have a question for me tonight, Linda?
I have a question. I'm constantly worried about my finances.
Well, do you know what worry is, Linda?
No.
Worry is an insult to God.
Can you repeat that?
Worry is an insult to God.
I understand.
Well, Linda, haven't you worried about your finances for 20-some years?
Yes.
Okay. If you've worried about your finances for 20-some years, how often have you been on the street corner?
Not too often.
I don't think you have been at all, have you?
No.
All right. Do you understand how you're throwing away your thoughts on things that you don't want to happen?
Am I?
Yes. Thoughts are energy. And when you give worry to being on the street corner, you're giving thoughts to it. Give it up. You are amply provided for. I do feel financial improvement in the spring of the year. But I don't think you're as bad as you think. I think you're focused on the problem. Stop it. Focus on all you have. I want you to, Linda, to use the attitude of gratitude.
Okay.
Even if you only have crackers in the closet, you thank God for the crackers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Practice the attitude of gratitude and see what all comes to you when you're open to it.
You are amazing.
Thank you. Worry is a block to the flow of good. Give it up.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now we go to Fran. Is it Fran there?
Yes, I'm here.
Fran, you called on our toll-free line, which is 1-800-543-1110. Where are you calling from?
I'm in Omaha. I've been here for a little over a year, so I'm a new listener.
Congratulations for coming to the Big O. Where did you come from?
Well, I was down in Arizona for a couple of years, but I'm originally from Minnesota.
Oh, what part of Minnesota?
The Minneapolis area.
Well, welcome to civilization. Welcome to the Big O. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. First of all, I want to tell you, Fran, are you aware that, are you a teacher?
No, I'm not a teacher.
Are you in
but
management?
I've been an avid student of Kabbalah for the last 7 years.
Are you in management, though?
No.
Do you work outside the home?
I'm not working right now.
Okay. Well,
I can barely hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Can you, Jim, is my mic low or something? I am going to tell you that you will be having a part-time job in some kind of schooling or teaching. Have you ever wanted to teach the Kabbalah?
Pardon?
Have you ever wanted to teach what you're studying?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I've had dreams about teaching.
Well, you're going to be doing it. But here's the problem, my dear Fran. Are you aware that you're a bit of a thinker and not a doer?
Yeah, my grandma noticed that in me when I was very young.
Okay. Well, now, honey, at your age, you have no frickin' excuse to still doing it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to put it in the body and into action. Thinking about things is wonderful and creative, but until you start taking action, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay?
Yeah, I've been in the healthcare field for 20 years, but I'm pretty much done with it.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I do have you working part-time in some kind of teaching area. And it may be also in the health field part-time. But I feel very good about it within 4 months. And the problem I have with you, and God bless you, Fran, but you're a bit of a plant. Ask me what I mean.
What do you mean?
I mean, at times, all you have to do is be watered and fed, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a little traditional and stuck in the mud, and think about things so long, by the time you do it, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I need you to work on that.
Okay, I sure will.
I need you to start moving forward a little bit better. Now, I know that being in Omaha, you feel like you're a fish out of water.
Yeah.
But can I tell you something? There's a lesson saying you always bloom where you're planted. And you need to bloom right here because you are a blessing to those around here.
Well, that's good.
No, I'm not trying to make you feel good. I'm telling that your purpose here is important. You don't have to know what it is, but I need you to reach out and stop doing the pity party and start looking out, okay?
Well, I've been through hell for the last almost 7 years.
I know. And as long as you want to carry that hell, it will draw more hell. You have got...
Can I ask you one thing?
Yes.
First,
I need you to... Did you hear what I said, though?
Pardon?
Did you hear what I said, though?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, will my daughter come back to me?
Yes, but not for a while.
Yeah.
Are you raising the children?
I have a daughter that that my husband and I fought over. I had her for 10 years, and then he turned around and sued me for custody.
Right.
And I didn't have any money to fight back.
And her name is? What is her name?
Pardon?
What is her name?
Her name is Kristen.
And you talk to her a lot, don't you?
I talk to her all the time.
Yeah, she doesn't feel disconnected from you. She loves you.
We're pretty close.
Yeah, she loves you. She's right there with you. How old is she?
She's 16. She was born on January 1st, 93.
She will live with you again. Okay? And you will help raise her children.
Yeah.
You'll be involved in their life and their children. But first,
yeah, I've got my grandson with me right now.
Okay, but here's the thing, Fran. You are carrying too much of yesterday's garbage. And as you carry yesterday's garbage, it's going to smell up today.
Yeah.
Okay? Nobody wants to come and be in your garbage, honey. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants your garbage. So you need to say, I've done this. I've carried it long enough. Let me put it down and let me walk away from it. Because as you stay in the garbage, you will only draw other garbage to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. I've gone through a lot.
Well,
cancer and everything.
Let's let it go.
I'm okay now.
I know you are, but you don't remember you're okay now. You're too much in your past, honey. You're living in your garbage. You got to walk out from it. You got to walk away from it, and you got to say, I am whole, and I'm healthy, and I'm alive in God.
Yeah.
Say that for me.
I've been trying to do the affirmation.
Hey. Fran, say that for me. I am whole.
I am whole, and I am healthy.
And I am alive in God.
I am alive.
In God.
In God.
It doesn't matter what you've been through. You don't have to be there anymore. But you, Fran, have to make the change. And you make the change by not claiming the garbage.
Yeah.
Okay? As you claim the garbage, it'll stay around you. Thank you for calling, Fran. Move forward. Walk forward in God's light. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that I could speak to you.
Thank you, honey. Bye-bye. Hi, you're back with Life with Psychic Suzanna at 1110 KFAB. You can reach us on our toll-free line, which is 1-800-543-1110, or our local line, which is 558-1110. Please be aware, you can get a sound of this show at psychicsusanna.com, or you can visit us and tell us your feedback at Life with Psychic Suzanna at Facebook. Now, we're going to go to the phone, and we are going to talk to Tony. Hello, Tony? Tony?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, young man.
How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm totally blessed, totally blessed. Tony, the one thing I want to tell you is I love your loyalty.
Okay, thank you.
I love your integrity. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Your word is your bond. You call it like you see it. Are you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am, I try to be that way.
Okay, and are you aware what a good father you are?
I try.
No, honey, you're doing it. Do you know what the word try means?
No.
Try means failure. I want you to give up that word.
Okay.
You're doing it. You're being a good father. How many children? 3?
Well, yeah, 2 stepchildren that I pretty much raised.
Can I tell you those children chose you before they chose life?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Everything is in divine order. Before we choose life, we choose our family members.
Uh-huh.
Now, the one thing I want to tell you, though, Tony, is you're very good with communicating with children and with people who are not adults. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying.
Okay. Have you ever heard the thing that you're supposed to communicate when you're above the ground?
I hadn't heard the same, but...
Now, let me tell you the thing. Do you know why you communicate when you're above the ground?
Why is that?
because you have to pay me too much to communicate with those below the ground. Okay? Here's the problem, Tony. You're cautious. You've got integrity, but you don't want to say anything to hurt anybody, so you don't say anything.
That's a lot of times that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so a lot of people misunderstand you. They don't know as good as you are. So can we start working on communication a little bit better?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, I am going to tell you that there is going to be a management change at work. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. The management change at work is going to be within 2 months. I like that. I'm also going to wait. Are you sitting down, young man?
Well, I can be.
Well, brace yourself. Are you ready?
Oh, sure.
You're going to be a father to 3 families, honey.
Oh, boy.
Oh, sweet Jesus, take those vitamins. Okay? But you're a good father. And have you ever done anything like Little League coaching?
No, I haven't.
Uh-huh. Do you camp?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Well, I have you doing a Little League stuff and a little bit more camping. And I want you to know that I have you in a wooded area.
I'm going to be moving here in a couple months. That fits right here.
Where are you moving to, babe?
Down in between Springfield and Branson, Missouri.
Oh, my God. It's a beautiful area. Why are you going there?
I'm sorry?
Why are you going there?
My mother and grandmother are down there, and I'm going to help out with my grandmother. She's not in the best of health.
God bless you. God bless you. And you know what? Taking care of family is very important, and God bless you for doing that. I am going to tell you, though, there's a whole nother family waiting for you.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm going to tell you there's a whole nother relationship, but I need you to work on communicating.
Okay.
Okay? And I do want you to know when you're living and loving in a wooded area,
yes,
there's going to be a lot of booty. Woo! Baby, get ready, Tony. Things are going forward. You've been through the worst. And the time you spent with your stepchildren was very important. And it allowed them to feel secure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And now we'll take a break and
Life
we'll be
with
right
Psychic
back.
Suzanna on 1110 KFAB.
All right, you're back with Life with Psychic Suzanna at 1110 KFAB. I so love doing this show. My God, do I love it. And I love having your calls. We try to get as many as we want. But each week we're going to do something to help empower us. So they always be ready to grow and get yourself better in each moment. We're going to go right to the phone and we're going to talk to Carol. Good morning, Carol. Good afternoon, Carol.
Hello.
It's the morning of your life. Good morning, Carol.
Hi.
Hi. Carol, first of all, are you in wanting a job change?
I'm actually between jobs right now.
Okay. Were you let go of your last job?
Yes.
Okay. I don't feel the right job till February.
Oh.
No. What does that mean? That means you're going to have some play jobs before that.
Okay.
All right? You're going to have some jobs that you'll do that will be financially good and supportive for you, but not the lasting job until February.
Okay.
All right? And do you know what kind of job you want?
I'm not certain, no.
See, that's the problem.
Sure exactly what it is that I need to be doing.
Okay.
That's why I'm calling you.
Okay, here's the problem, though. You're not in control of and don't think about what you want to get done, and that's what you need to do. You will work in the health profession, by the way, and I'm sorry, our time's up. Oh, my God, please stay tuned. Call next week. We'll be back. But I want you to stay tuned to 1110 KFAB, and if you want to download this, you go to PsychicSusanna.com, or you go visit me at Life with Psychic Suzanna at Facebook, and we can talk there. Live long and prosper. Isn't it wonderful being above the ground? Let's make this day the best day you've ever had. This moment, the best moment you've ever had. We're alive.